why is Jalen Ramsey such an interesting person to be commenting on this situation?
Well, they have the same agent, and so, that they're in contact with each other through that connection. And, Jalen Ramsey did this. He was in Jacksonville, didn't like it there, didn't like the way the organization was treating him, and he let it be known he wanted out, and eventually they felt like they were forced to trade him to the Los Angeles Rams. They got 2 first-round picks, and it was a good deal for them, but he did force his way out. So he knows whereof he speaks, and he's kind of the one who sort of wrote a bit of a playbook for Deshaun Watson if he does want to continue to force this situation and force his way out of Houston.
Now, Mike Tannenbaum, you made a very interesting point in our meeting this morning about the individual who is making those decisions right now in Houston, the history that he and you share, and why you could see him taking this thing all the way. I'd love you to share that.
Greeting. Nick Caserio for 18 years sat right next to Coach Belichick, and I'm using this description in a very positive way as a leader. Coach Belichick would make decisions in a sober, dispassionate, emotionless way. Whatever is best for the football team is what we're going to do, and we are going to ignore the noise. If there's one person in the NFL who I think has the makeup to ride this out the entire year, it's Nick Caserio. After 18 years of watching arguably the all-time best do it, I think Nick will be unaffected by all the noise. I think he's the captain of this ship, and this could go the entire year. Dan alluded to the juxtaposition of the two sides right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is ultimately Carson Palmer Part 2, where Deshaun Watson doesn't play this year and he's not traded.
It would look, at the end of the day, it's in no one's best interest for great football players not to play football. So that's why I sort of shake my head. I would hate to see that. But you see the two sides dug in. Louis, Riddick, what do you think?
I think this is ridiculous. I mean, what point is Houston proven by doing that? You're just going to make him sit. You're not going to recoup anything for him in return. Your football team right now is devoid of talent. You don't have the assets to improve the football team. So you're just basically saying we're just going to junk this year. We're going to junk this year, and we'll see what happens next year, simply because we don't want to establish the precedent of star players who are disappointed in how we do things, saying that they want to try and then force their way out of town. Look, this is a situation where I think if people are really soberingly honest with themselves, that they created. Houston created this issue here. There had to have been a massive breakdown in communication. Given what we know about Deshaun Watson, he wouldn't just up out of nowhere pull this out of his rear end and go, hey, you know what? I just don't want to play for you now because I just figured out there's something better that I want to do. And this isn't just a single situation. This is a systemic issue that's been happening with their star players for a long time. So instead of people here worrying about precedent and worrying about sending Deshaun a message and let's just stand our ground and make him hold out and recoup his money and let's just see if he's going to take this all the way like Carson and threaten to leave, how about you start thinking about maybe rebuilding your football team and rebuilding the trust of not only the players in the locker room, but other players who are looking at your organization going, I don't want any parts of going anywhere like that. I don't want any parts where every historically great player in this organization rips you once they leave there. That cannot be just a coincidence that is happening. It can't be. So I think, you know what? They better be pretty honest with themselves about why they find themselves in this situation, because if they don't, then it's just going to repeat itself over and over and over again. And aren't you in this business to win?
It's extremely well said. I think it's what a lot of people think. It's worth reminding you, in case you don't know, Nick Caserio was not there for any of this. He's a brand new general manager who kind of walked into the middle of the situation. The systemic problems that seem to be there go all the way to the top of the organization, and that has not changed. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.